Let me talk a little bit about the economy and some of the attacks that are being leveled by Mitt Romney against President Obama. And it looks to be very similar to what Obama did against you in 2008. So back in 2008, one of the most memorable lines, you said the fundamentals of the economy is strong. The Obama team pounced on that. This is the ad they put out, you might recall.
The fundamentals of our economy are strong. The fundamentals of our economy are strong.
The idea here, which you thought was unfair and out of context, is that you didn't get the economy, that you were out of touch. Well, now fast forward, the president says the private sector is doing fine, and here the Romney team pounces. This is the ad.
The private sector is doing fine. The private sector is doing fine.
It's basically the same ad. So I imagine that you would say to Mitt Romney, hey, that's an unfair knock against President Obama, just as you thought it was an unfair knock against you.
Of course not. At the time, the stock market had just fallen 700 points. Americans were frightened. I wanted to reassure the American people that the fundamentals of our economy are strong. It's still the best system in the world. That's why we have Steve Jobs and Apple and Facebook and all of those things. And I still believe that. Now, what President Obama just said was that the private sector is doing fine. The private sector is not doing fine. And there's more to this than just that comment. It's his overall view. And he went on in that same statement to talk about how we need to hire more government workers, that the key to our economy is to expand the bureaucracies of government. That's a fundamental difference between him and Mitt Romney, and the reason why Mitt Romney is going to be elected, because Mitt Romney believes that businesses create jobs. Let me give you a small example. We got $1.5 trillion sitting overseas, okay? $1.5 trillion, double the stimulus package. All we have to do is bring that money home. These companies that are holding that money promise to invest and hire, and we could have a stimulus to our economy. Why is it that the Obama administration won't bring that money home? It's because they want to tax them. The highest corporate tax rate in the world is in the United States of America. This is the kind of no-brainer stuff that, because of his view of government, that keeps us from doing these things.
But there's another similarity when it comes to how to deal with and how to evaluate Mitt Romney's business record at Bain, but also his experience as being governor of Massachusetts. This has been the subject of an attack by President Obama against Mitt Romney, because Mitt Romney says, look, I understand how to create jobs. I was in the private sector. When those ideas were put to a test when he was the governor of Massachusetts, a candidate back in 2008 interpreted those results this way.
When he was governor, they had the third or fourth worst economy of any state in America. The manufacturing jobs left this country at 7%. They left Massachusetts at 14%. So I think people just take a look at his record as governor. And again, as the head of his investment, quote, company, he presided over the acquisition of companies that immediately laid off thousands of workers.
Now, again, your campaign against Mitt Romney from 2008 is long over, but the substance of your critique is what the president is critiquing Romney for today. You don't see any problem with that, do you? It's accurate?
Look, this is the height of a very tough primary campaign that Mitt and I were in. Time after time after time, which we don't show. I showed my respect and appreciation for the fact that he was a successful Republican governor working with Democrat legislature. The fact is that Bain yes, thousands were laid off, but also many more thousands were hired. It was a tough campaign, and you say things in campaigns that obviously are to help you. But I can tell you this, that Mitt Romney's view of what this economy needs to be done and what needs to be done to cure this economy, and the record of what President Obama has tried to do is vastly different.
But
when you look at the stimulus, when you look at Dodd-Frank, do you believe that any organization, banking, financial institution isn't too big to fail today? Do you believe that Obamacare isn't opposed by some 60-some percent of the American
Senator, you don't
people?
disavow your critiques of the business credentials of Mitt Romney.
My critique of the business credentials of Mitt Romney are that he had successes and that he had failures. And that's, unfortunately, the downside of the free enterprise capitalist system. But overall, his record I think, will stand and speak for itself.